Uber may have won big time in California, but they have lost majorly in the UK. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and yes, this story did not escape my notice. I did see this story. Thank you to everyone who emailed me, messaged me on Facebook, Discord, all that jazz. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry I'm late talking about it, but as you know, I'm not paying as much attention to the gig economy. I think it's a lost cause. I mean, when you get to the point where Lyft is paying as a base fare $0.00, you would think there would be nowhere to go but up. And yet I kind of have a sense that it's just going to continue to get worse, because I have said it can't possibly get any worse for so long that the phrase basically has no meaning anymore. And that's where we are. Well, anyway, as you all know, in California, we stupidly decided to let Prop 22 pass and let Uber continue to take advantage of us and treat us like employees while paying us as independent contractors. And now we've got more and more rate cuts, which is exactly what Uber said wouldn't happen. So much for the guaranteed minimum standard of living. But anyway, Uber's been making a lot of these cases in the UK. The UK has been very, very, very rigorously going after them, saying that you are hiring employees, you are not hiring independent contractors, you're hiring employees, and Uber's been arguing to the contrary. But the UK Supreme Court has disagreed with Uber. They say that yes, you are hiring employees, and that needs to stop. So, here's what the story from Bloomberg says. Uber lost a UK Supreme Court ruling over the rights of its drivers in a landmark decision that strikes a blow against the gig economy. The judges unanimously ruled that Uber drivers are workers entitled to rights like minimum wage, holiday pay, and rest breaks. Uber shares dropped as much as 1.5% in early trading in New York before paring losses. Of course they're going to lose that much. I'm surprised they didn't lose more, to be honest, because the UK, the UK Supreme Court, that's a big loss. The ruling will have a significant impact on the UK's burgeoning gig economy and comes amid a broader global fight over the rights of workers on apps. Many of the companies that rely on these kinds of workers have thrived during the global pandemic, deploying drivers to make deliveries to customers stuck at home while shops and restaurants were shut. It will, quote, make it much harder for companies engaging people via digital platforms to assert that they are self-employed, said Michael Pounder, a lawyer at Charles Russell Speechlys in London. Uber's fight over drivers' employment rights extends across its global operations. In its home state of California, drivers are suing to invalidate a ballot measure approved last year that declared them independent contractors. That is actually going through the lower courts right now. Meanwhile, policymakers in the European Union are expected to publish recommendations for improving working conditions for gig economy workers later this month. Quote, the ruling strikes at the heart of Uber's business model, said Paul Jennings, a lawyer at Bates Wells who represented the drivers. As a business, it will need to reflect very carefully on the implications of the judgment. The ruling is the end of the road for Uber's 5-year fight over the status of its... Jesus, have I been talking about that long? Have I been doing this channel more than 6 years? Have I been talking about this company for more than 5 years of my life? More than 5... Think about that when you are sitting in your house one day saying, geez, my life has been a waste, and say, except for that guy who talked about Uber for 5 years and things never got better. Maybe things are significantly worse for that idiot. Anyway, last year, Uber had to fight to retain its license to operate in London after the transport regulator complained about safety concerns. Uber said that the ruling only... This is the funny thing. This is where Uber is going to deflect. This is where Uber lives in La La Land, where they think that they can still create the rules even though they can't. Uber said that the ruling only applies to the handful of drivers that filed the initial case. No, it doesn't. It does not mean that at all. But it will start a nationwide consultation, which will take a number of weeks. Yeah. I love how Uber's like, yeah, it only reflects these individuals who sued us. But just to be on the safe side, and because we know you're kind of seeing through our bullshit right now, we're going to start a consultation to make sure of that. And by the way, that's going to take weeks. So for at least a few more weeks, drivers will still be treated and paid like independent contractors. Yeah. Uber and the wider industry will particularly be looking at the Supreme Court's question mark over its business model. The firm told Bloomberg. It will update the market on its next steps once they've read the rulings in detail and have completed the consultation. And I think it's going to result in Uber being petty and leaving the market. Now, that might be difficult for them because, as pointed out here, London is one of Uber's largest and most lucrative markets, with 45,000 drivers and 3.5 million people who use the app once every 90 days. So they're going to lose a lot of business. Now, some of the previous arguments that have been ruled against Uber is that the Supreme Court also ruled that drivers are working anytime they're logged into the app and ready and willing to accept trips. That's going to be a big one. And Uber had argued at a July hearing that this may result in drivers earning a minimum wage for multiple ride-sharing and delivery services, including its rivals. So Martin Chitty, a partner at Gowling WLG, has said this ends the argument in the UK courts. Uber 0, drivers 4. And I think the 4 is referring to the 4 people who sued Uber. So what's my thoughts about this? Well, I don't think Uber is going to have a whole lot of choice. They'll delay as long as they can. Like this consultation, that's going to take weeks. It'll probably take a couple months because Uber will do the best that they can to hold on to that market as long as possible. But at some point, they're going to be told that they can't do things the way they've always been doing them, and Uber will fold. They will leave probably because if they even cave in one place where they say, okay, we're going to accept this ruling and we're going to operate under those rules, then the thing is that emboldens everyone else to basically stand up to them and say, no, if you can work it out with them where you can pay your drivers like employees with minimum wage, benefits, days off, and a much stricter and thorough vetting process, then you can do that here. And it would be the end of Uber. So Uber needs to fold and get out of there. That's the only way that they come out of this smelling like a rose. Now, they will delay. They will delay as much as possible. I predict they can probably stay in the UK for another couple months, but eventually they will be out of there, and other companies will follow suit. And look, here's the thing. A gig economy is going to fall apart. I mean, I know that the stock got up pretty high because Prop 22 passed, but look at the last earnings call. Uber's still losing money. They have been losing money for 6 years. 6 years, and they've got no hopes of actually making money. They are spending millions of dollars to double down, triple down on food delivery. But the pandemic is coming to an end. We're getting vaccinated. By next year, this will be a bad memory. And then what are you going to have? You're going to have all of these food delivery services, and people are going to want to go out to the restaurants again. And then you have to kind of reintroduce rideshare to people again. And so now the rideshare is making money, but now the food delivery service is losing money. You see how this does not work. And nothing about this business model has worked. So anyway, I am not surprised that the UK Supreme Court ruled this way. I suspect at one point the US Supreme Court, when it eventually gets to them, will probably rule against Uber. But we will have to see. For the time being, what do you think about this? I would love to know your opinion. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.